Let's get real. If you think being overly attentive and showering a woman with endless affection is the way to win her heart, you've been misled. In fact, the opposite might be true. What if I told you that by simply ignoring her, you could get inside her head, make her question her own feelings, and even flip the power dynamic in your favor? Sounds harsh. Maybe. But that's the cold, hard reality of attraction psychology. The art of ignoring a woman isn't about disrespect. It's about shifting your mindset. Society has programmed men to believe that the more they invest, the more they'll be rewarded. But what if that approach is actually pushing her away? Ignoring a woman taps into the core of her emotional triggers, her desire for validation, attention, and the mysterious allure of what she can't have. It's human nature to want what's out of reach, and by creating that distance, you can make her chase you. Now, before anyone rushes to judge, let me be clear. This isn't about toxic manipulation. It's about understanding the deeper psychological dynamics at play. Women are emotional creatures driven by complex desires, and sometimes, the more you back off, the more intrigued they become. When you master the art of pulling away, you stop coming across as needy. Suddenly, she's the one craving your attention. This strategy, while controversial, has roots in evolutionary psychology. Men who appeared more self-sufficient were often viewed as stronger and more attractive mates. In today's world, the same principle applies. Confidence, self-control, and scarcity create attraction. If you're always available, you become predictable, and nothing kills attraction faster than predictability. So today, we're diving deep into this concept, the art and dark psychology of ignoring a woman. Together, we'll explore how shifting your approach can help you hold her attention without overinvesting in ways that lower your value. The trap of overinvestment. When you're always available, you send a clear message. She doesn't have to work for your attention, and if she doesn't have to work for it, she won't value it. Imagine that you're constantly texting her first, canceling your plans for her, or trying too hard to keep the conversation alive. At first, she might engage, but soon she'll feel like it's all too easy. You'll stop being the guy who intrigues her and become the guy who's predictable. Overinvestment doesn't just make you seem needy, it lowers your value in her eyes. When you're always showering her with compliments, buying her gifts, or bending over backward to be there for her, it might seem like you're being caring. But what you're really doing is signaling that she doesn't need to invest in you because you're doing all the work. The men who understand this know that pulling back, creating space, and being selective with their time keeps a woman on her toes. And attraction is all about value. Instead of overinvesting, focus on giving her space. Don't always be the first to text her. Don't constantly rearrange your schedule to accommodate hers. Let her feel the weight of your absence. When you do this, she'll start to wonder why you're not chasing her like every other guy. That curiosity will pull her in. The power of curiosity. Ignoring a woman, when done the right way, works because it triggers her curiosity. When you don't give her the validation she's expecting, she starts wondering why you're not reacting like everyone else. And that makes you stand out. Let's say you meet a girl at a party. You hit it off. Now, most guys would immediately follow up with endless texts or try to lock down a second date right away. But instead, you take a different approach. You text her, sure, but you don't bombard her with messages or act overeager. What happens next? She starts thinking about you. She starts wondering why you're not pursuing her as aggressively as others might. This mental gap, the time and space you create, is what draws her in. Humans are wired to crave uncertainty. If you're always available, there's no mystery, no excitement. But if there's a hint of unpredictability in your behavior, she'll naturally want to know more. For example, imagine she sends you a message. Instead of replying instantly, you take your time. Not because you're playing games, but because you're genuinely busy living your life. Now she's checking her phone, maybe even rereading her message, wondering why you haven't gotten back to her yet. That anticipation is what creates attraction. The key is to avoid being overly available while still remaining respectful. Women are attracted to men with full, independent lives. They don't want someone who's constantly seeking their approval or validation. When you hold back just a little, you maintain an air of mystery. She becomes curious about why you're not acting like everyone else, and that curiosity keeps her interested. The allure of mystery. Nothing kills attraction faster than predictability. When a woman knows exactly what you're going to say or do next, she loses interest. That's where the power of mystery comes in. The unknown is intriguing. When you're harder to read, she can't help but be drawn in. Think about it. If you're always texting her back immediately, sharing every thought and emotion, and making your feelings crystal clear from the start, there's no thrill. While honesty and openness have their place, too much of it too soon ruins the chase. Women love the excitement that comes from not knowing exactly how you feel or where the relationship is heading. The more she has to guess, the more invested she becomes in figuring you out. And the effort she puts into that process makes her more emotionally attached. To maintain that air of mystery, you don't need to play games or be emotionally distant just for the sake of it. It's about balance. Be genuine, but don't reveal everything about yourself too quickly. Keep some aspects of your life private. Don't always explain your plans. Be selective about what you share. When she has to fill in the blanks, she becomes more invested. Mystery keeps her emotionally stimulated. When you're unpredictable in a way that feels natural, you keep her on her toes. That's what keeps her hooked. She'll never feel like she's completely figured you out, and that uncertainty will make her crave your attention even more. Pulling away with respect. A lot of men confuse pulling away with being rude or dismissive, and that's where they go wrong. True attraction isn't built on cruelty or neglect. Pulling away, when done correctly, is about giving her the space to realize your value without crossing the line into disrespect. Some men take this concept too far, treating women like they don't matter or cutting off all communication. That's not a strategy, it's immaturity. Women aren't drawn to cruelty, they're drawn to confidence and emotional strength. When you pull away, it's not about shutting down or ghosting. It's about showing that you're not needy or desperate while still respecting her. You're stepping back to focus on your own goals, passions, and life, not to punish her with silence. She'll feel the difference. If you pull away just to manipulate her emotions, she'll eventually see through it. Women aren't naive. They can sense immaturity and insincerity from a mile away. But when you step back because you genuinely value your own time and priorities, it sends a powerful message. When she sees that you're not always available but still treat her with respect, her interest will grow naturally. You don't have to degrade her to elevate yourself. True confidence comes from knowing your worth and maintaining your boundaries while still showing kindness and respect. Letting her chase you. If you're constantly pursuing a woman, you're missing a fundamental truth about attraction. You don't win her over by being the one who always makes the effort. In fact, the more you pursue, the less power you have in the dynamic. The secret lies in flipping the script and letting her do some of the chasing. Here's the problem. Many men don't realize how damaging their constant pursuit can be. If you're always the one reaching out, planning dates, or trying to impress her, you're putting yourself in the role of the pursuer. This automatically places her in control of the situation. Women are naturally more interested in someone they have to work for. When you make yourself too available, you're essentially telling her she doesn't need to put in any effort to earn your attention. And that's not attractive. People value what they have to work for, and relationships are no different. This isn't about playing hard to get for the sake of it. It's about creating genuine interest by setting boundaries and showing self-respect. When you let her chase you, you send a clear message. You value yourself enough not to overextend, and you're not desperate for her approval. That confidence is magnetic. Focus on your own life, your passions, your goals, your interests. When you're fully engaged with your own world, you naturally become less available. And when you're not constantly chasing her, she'll start to wonder about you. She'll notice your absence. She'll think about you more. This doesn't mean you should be cold or distant. It's about balance. You want to show interest, but you also want to leave room for her to pursue you. When she sees that you have a fulfilling life outside of the relationship, she'll feel more compelled to invest in you. She'll want to earn a place in your world, and that effort makes her more emotionally invested. Stop chasing her like she's the only option you have. Instead, let her see that you're perfectly fine on your own. When she starts to chase you, her interest level will rise naturally, and the dynamic will shift in your favor. The big picture. For years, men have been fed the myth that they need to constantly chase women to win them over, but the reality is quite the opposite. The less you invest, the more they'll crave your attention. It's not manipulation, it's basic human psychology. By understanding the principles of attraction, you can create stronger, more fulfilling connections without overinvesting or lowering your value. Pull back when needed, maintain an air of mystery, and remember to respect both yourself and her. Confidence, self-control, and independence are what make you stand out. Now, it's your turn. Reflect on these ideas and think about how they apply to your own experiences. Have you ever noticed how stepping back can shift the dynamic in your favor? Or how being overly available can sometimes push people away? Share your thoughts and stories. Thank you for taking the time to explore this with me. As always, remember that attraction isn't about playing games or manipulating emotions. It's about understanding human nature and building genuine connections. Keep embracing a stoic, balanced approach to life, and you'll not only improve your relationships, but also your sense of self-worth. I'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts in the comments, and let's connect. Whether you've tried these strategies or have questions about them, I'm here to help break down the myths and build something real together. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next discussion. Stay confident, stay focused, and always value yourself.